Lico is off to work.
I've lived in this neighborhood for 10 years, and yet only a few of my neighbors really know what I do. I diaper a baby, but I'm not a nurse. I prepare a meal once in a while, but I'm not a cook. Sometimes I even scrub a kitchen floor, but I'm not a cleaning woman. I've held many a family together, but I'm not a social worker. It's hard to say what homemaker service really is.
Mrs. Lico has her own way of defining her job. She says her work is to keep home fires burning. Not a bad way to describe helping families in crisis, or caring for convalescents or children or the elderly in their own homes. Homemaking service is supplied to the community through public welfare, social service, or health agencies. Women like Mrs. Lico are trained, assigned, and supervised by professionals who are aware of their personalities and skills as well as the needs of the families in trouble.
A good day for the flowers.
Yes. A good day for the flowers. They get nice and sprinkled. Very good.
Looks as though you had a very good breakfast this morning, Mr. Dow.
My petunias are dying for a want of water, but the day helps them out.
Many handicapped older people are eligible for this kind of help under the Medicare program. Mrs. Lico comes to the Dows 5 days a week to help with the ordinary tasks that they can no longer handle themselves. What she does depends on the needs in each situation. No chore is beneath her dignity if it is important to the health or well-being of the client. There's not much glamour in her day-to-day activities.
9 days before Christmas last year, I fell down right here one evening, and I had a big blood clot on my side. We called the doctor, and he said, put ice on it and I'd see you in the morning. So he came, and when he saw me, he said, oh, to the hospital with the ambulance at once.
Without Mrs. Lico, Mr. and Mrs. Dowes would have to be separated, moved out of their apartment, sent off to a nursing home or an old age home, alternatives that would be expensive both in money and in misery. The cost of Mrs. Lico's services is far less than the cost of 24-hour institutional care.
Lunch is ready. Can I help you?
You have to get up. Mm-hmm. Just a minute, I can make this.
Mrs. Lico has received specific training in the care of older people. She knows about their special needs, both physical and emotional. She can help people without pushing them around. And she makes it a business to learn about the idiosyncrasies of the particular people she is working with. For all of us have personal likes and dislikes. As we get older, these tastes and aversions seem to become more important to us.
Would you like some onions on your steak, Mrs. Dow?
No, I guess that's all right.
I have some if you'd like. No? All righty.
We need enough some other time.
Going along with their whims doesn't really make Mrs. Lico's work any harder. But it does make the atmosphere of the home pleasanter and brighter. A meal can be more than simple physical nourishment.
Here's an added surprise for you.
Very good squash.
It's very tasty dinner.
Older people are usually complainers. It's nice to hear praise instead. Another of Mrs. Lico's routine duties is the Dow's shopping, a task they would find almost impossible on their own. The passing vegetable truck is a help, but she does most of her buying in a shopping center a mile away, on her way in the mornings. With her help, the Dows can function as well as their faculties permit. Originally, Mrs. Lico came here as a result of Mrs. Dow's accident. Now, after 2 months, she's still functioning as a homemaker, home health aide.
Here's the bandage, Mrs. Lico.
For once a week, the visiting nurse comes in to examine Mrs. Dow's leg and to supervise Mrs. Lico's work.
Am I binding it too tightly?
No, that's very good. That's fine. You can bring it down here just a little bit more. We can put her leg down now. And you're all ready for the adhesive tape. Oh, I think now, Mrs. Dowd, that Mrs. Lico will probably be able to change it for you. And on our next visit, I'll come in and watch her do it. And then, after that, perhaps I won't need to come every week.
That'd be all right with me. It's in a long siege. The specialist came in on that elevator when it stopped. And the nurse said to me she was taking me down because I was scared of elevators. She was taking me down. So as the nurse said to me, "That's the specialist." And I said, "You call him a special little small boy, he looks like to me."
Mrs. Lico has heard these stories before, but she is aware of her client's need for companionship, for a patient ear, and her attention is not unappreciated.
We were here, an old couple in our 90s, and all by ourselves, and then they came into us, a homemaker who took over. It really made that place a happy spot. Before that time, we had fret and trouble and disappointment and the feeling that we weren't getting as much out of life as we ought to get out of it. We don't really live without us.
The Dows still have their place in the sun, all because a Mrs. Lico spends a few hours with them 5 days a week.
Are you going to leave us now?
Yes. Now, will you remember the pot roast is on the stove?
Yes.
And the potatoes are in the oven. And you'll take care of that, Mr. Dowd?
We will.
All right. Now, I'll be 15 minutes late tomorrow morning. I'm going to pick up your laundry. All righty?
Yes. Well, I'll wait for you.
Fine. Okay, see you in the morning.
All right, good
Bye.
night. Bye.
What does a homemaker do? Let's say she just throws a few coals on a fire that keeps two old people warm and happy in their last days. Her services keep them in the midst of life.
I heard from Mrs. Ryan that you're doing very well with the home health aid program. It's nice to hear that. Now I've called you in about the Morales family. Mrs. Morales is just 32. She's the mother of 6 children, 2 sets of twins. She had an accident. She's come home from the hospital with her arm in a frame, has partial use of just 2 of the fingers. Ms. Morales is going to have to be going every day to physiotherapy, rehab, and the surgeon for a checkup. But that's not all. You should have seen what I saw yesterday. What a mess. Refuse, food, everything, everywhere. The refrigerator was open. I don't believe they know how the equipment that comes with the apartment really works. There are these children. They're growing up. You can imagine for yourself what will happen if they continue on the standards they're on or if they lose their home. We have a job here, an educational one, and it's not simple. I think the mother really wants to learn. You can't force her, but you can do a lot of leading, and the children will follow along, and they'll help her.
This, too, is homemaking service, or maybe it should be called home building, for this is starting from scratch.
Good morning, Mrs. Lico.
Good morning.
I am sorry that the house is in such a mess, but I was up all night with the steer.
That's all right. We'll take care of it for you.
And my bus is leaving in 2 minutes.
All right.
Goodbye, Lucia. Goodbye, Johnny.
Bye.
Angel. Bye. Everybody's gonna be good, okay, Poppy? Okay, Johnny? Okay, bye-bye.
This is your sister? Yeah, that's a good girl. How's your hands? Nice and clean? Huh? Let me see them. Let me see yours, Poppy. Oh, boy. What happened here? Fall down? That'll be all right, huh? Everybody all finished with their breakfast?
Acting as a mother surrogate is one of the traditional roles of the homemaker. It doesn't mean babysitting. It means doing every single chore a good mother would do, and doing it in a maternal way. It is no accident that most homemakers are married women who have raised their own children. Once you've bathed a baby, you're not worried about being splashed. Mrs. Lico's own children are grown now, and so this job stirs pleasant memories of bygone days. And even the dullest job can be made interesting if you're teaching while you're doing it, especially if your pupil is bright and eager to learn and to help. Mrs. Lico knows, in spite of the chaos of a dozen assorted shoes and a dozen assorted socks, that growing up is a learning experience from early morning to bedtime. Every problem is a challenge to little fingers and little heads. Every victory is a step in maturing. A homemaker, like a mother, is always teaching.
Where's Angel?
He's across the street eating lunch with his friends.
Oh, okay. Come on, Margie. Come over here, huh? You sit next to Lucy here. When you finish your sandwich, you can have an apple.
Lunch is often in the American style, for hungry youngsters are not yet set in their ways. But for dinner, Mrs. Lico has learned to prepare Puerto Rican dishes that the whole family will enjoy. The children need play and exercise, so Mrs. Lico gets them out of the house for a few hours every day. Since the playground is on the other side of the housing project, she takes them over. She's proud of her large family and the way the children seem to have adopted her. They behave as though they have known her all their lives. Most days, Mrs. Morales is back from the hospital before Mrs. Lico leaves.
What are we having fixed up for tomorrow, Mrs. Wiggy?
I made 2 nice roast chickens, and then I have the beans soaking in the pot here. Tonight you're going to have pot roast and some potatoes, and then I'll make a nice tossed salad.
Mom, Daddy's gonna go over there.
Mr. Morales, who at first seemed embarrassed at having a stranger in his house, has come to appreciate Mrs. Lico's presence. No lost work time anymore. No more housework to come home to. No more disorder and mess in his home. For him, Mrs. Lico is too good to be true. Some days, Mrs. Morales is home in the morning.
What did my husband bought for you last night, please?
It's garbage pail, just like you said, for garbage. Wonderful.
Also got new drains, too.
Oh, that's fine. That's just what we needed.
Mrs. Morales wants to do her share, but some of the equipment found in the housing project was unknown in her Puerto Rican youth.
That's enough, Mrs. Morales. This machine only holds 12 pounds. If you put too many of them in there, they're going to bunch up and they'll clog your machine. You'll have trouble with it. I noticed you also have your white clothes, and with your colored clothes, you didn't sort them out first. Now, it's not a good idea. Sometimes the dyes run from one into the other.
Yes.
All righty?
Yes.
Carrying out her supervisor's plan, Mrs. Lico has gently assumed the role of leading Mrs. Morales into the secrets of efficient homemaking.
If they have their own place to put things, they'll learn to hang up their clothes. And then you won't have so much picking up to do after them.
All right.
There are many old-fashioned tricks for keeping cramped quarters tidy. One way of coping with children's clothes is to put up hooks that are properly labeled. It turns neatness into a game that children can play.
Banana, habichuela, colorada, red kidney. Sí.
What about some meat? The children should have a balanced diet every day. Meat or meat substitute, green vegetables, fats that come in milk, vitamins.
Bacalao.
Codfish.
Sí.
Oh, yeah, that's very high in protein.
Household money can be an important factor in family life. Spending it properly can be learned. Where to shop first, and then how to shop. Mrs. Lico points out the lost leaders that are bargains. Such staple products will be more expensive another day. But when it comes to beans and lentils, she allows Mrs. Morales to be the expert. She knows the kinds that her family is used to eating. She can also be shown how buying things in bulk saves money. It takes time to get accustomed to new ideas, to different ways of doing things. Mrs. Lico understands this, and so she points out differences without seeming patronizing or authoritarian. She realizes that she is the bridge by which the Morales family can move over to a new way of life. That her skill and her attitude may determine how well they will do in their new world.
Does everybody like the story, This is the House That Jack Built? Yeah? Okay. This is the house that Jack built.
A fire is burning here now. Mrs. Lico's efforts have kindled the kind of flame that can burn a lifetime.
The house that Jack built. And this is the cat that killed a rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built.
Homemaker service is not restricted to welfare cases or to depressed economic classes. Many clients can pay for the service. The Lamberts are typically middle class. They needed help when Diane's mother was hospitalized for a severe depression.
That's enough salt, Diane. People are going to say you're in love.
One chance of that.
I wonder if this is going to be enough cake. You know, the way Billy eats cake, like it's going out of style.
With the help of the 4 Lambert children, Mrs. Lico now has the motherless household almost managing itself. The boys take care of the yard, while she has taught Cindy to help her older sister around the house. Thus, Mrs. Lico has been able to cut down her schedule to 2 days a week.
That smells good. Your mother's going to be very surprised and pleased when she sees how well you're doing with stew now. I think I'd better go see how Cindy's doing. Very, very nice. Don't forget the glasses and the napkins.
Okay, I won't.
What's the matter? Diane, what's the matter?
It's Mom.
Mom? Oh, she's much better. She'll be coming home Saturday.
That's just it.
I don't understand. Come, sit down. Tell me all about it. What's bothering you, Diane?
Everything. Mother, Dad, the kids.
What are you talking about?
Well, is Mother better, isn't she?
Of course she's better, or they wouldn't be sending her home.
Then why does the doctor say she has to go to the daycare clinic?
It may only be a matter of a few weeks.
Why, Mary Lou's mother said that you never get over mental illness.
That's nonsense. Most people get as well as ever, and your mother's doing wonderful.
Dad doesn't think so. He's always making cracks. And Cindy, she's just as upset as I am.
Mrs. Lico had never suspected. She hadn't been around enough in recent weeks to notice the children's fears. Now that she was alerted, she could see a number of danger signals.
Diane, where's the butter? Oh, here it is. Just hold your horses.
Now what's the matter?
Oh, he just wants service.
Good morning, Mrs. Lico.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Lambert.
Thank you very much for the nice job on the shirts. It's so nice to have a nice, smooth, soft collar for a change after living with the laundries for so many years. My wife never could iron. She can't even iron a handkerchief. Morning, Bob. How's the eye? Morning, Di. Thank you.
Cindy!
Mrs. Lico, will you help me with my hair?
Boy, it sure is good to have a good cup of coffee. I get so darn sick of that instant, and I'm just, well...
How is Mrs. Lambert? Is she still coming home Saturday?
Well, she seems better. And the doctor said I could pick her up on Saturday. Then I suppose the whole thing will start all over again. I don't know, one day she's up, the next day she's down. Psychiatrists, I don't know, half the time they know what they're doing.
Oh, Mr. Lambert, the vacuum cleaner isn't working today. Would you take it to the repairman on your way to the office?
Oh, yes, I'd be glad to.
Mrs. Lico has also been trained to know when to call her supervisor for help.
But it's the children I'm worried about. Something has been developing around here that I wasn't aware of. Yes, that would be very good. Tomorrow at 11?
Aroused by Mrs. Lico's concern, Mrs. Dayton arranged to have Dr. Bell, Mrs. Lambert's psychiatrist, at the meeting. A situation like this was beyond her professional scope.
So you see, the boys are all right. It's the girls that we're worried about. Isn't it, Mrs. Lico?
Yes, it's Diane. Cindy seems to be following her cue.
This 17-year-old girl is really upset. She's so anxious, and it seems to be triggered by the father's constant jokes, and he's carping on his wife's inadequacy.
The doctor planned to see Mr. Lambert immediately and make him aware of what his attitude was doing to hurt his family.
Your big job is with the children. If you can get that daughter to accept her mother, that is the major problem.
Do you think you can go on, Mrs. Lico? Can you work with Diane?
Yes, Diane and I are very close.
She thinks...
The doctor felt Mr. Lambert would respond to his advice, but to make sure, he arranged to delay Mrs. Lambert's homecoming until the family was ready for it.
It's definite. Your mother will be home Tuesday.
Yes, and you'll be staying on.
A little while, anyhow. We'll see how this daycare program works out.
Dad had a long talk with Dr. Bell, and he thinks it's a good idea.
In this case, again, Mrs. Lico was acted as an adjunct of a professional team. It was due to her foresight that a dangerous spark was prevented from smoking out an entire family. But for homemakers, learning never stops. About once a month, Mrs. Lico attends in-service training sessions in which her skills are expanded.
We're all here today to talk again about the course that Miss Landers gave for the home health aid, so we can extend our own program.
Miss Jarmack, the head of the homemaker service, is referring to the program in which selected homemakers are given additional courses to qualify them as home health aides.
Now, some of you were more interested in the practical aspects of the course. Mrs. Trapp, you were quite surprised to learn that it's much better to use a hot water bottle than a heating pad with an older person. Mrs. Twine, why don't you tell us some of the experiences you've had?
Well, I happen to go on this case.
These conferences also give homemakers a chance to receive continuing support and to learn from each other's experience. Like many homemakers, midway through life, Mrs. Lico has found a new career. Work that is rewarding, yet lets her carry out her duties as wife and mother, for she has a husband and children, a married daughter and a son in college, whose tuition and expenses she can help pay for out of her own earnings.
How'd your day go, hon?
We had a little trouble today. One of the machines broke down. How did your day go?
Oh, fine. There's not much to do there now.
Do you expect to be on a job long or what?
I'll only be going in for an hour or two for the next few weeks. Help the young girl get along. As a matter of fact, the supervisor just called. She said she'd like me to come in and speak to her about a few other cases.
Homemakers like Mrs. Lico are paid, but they rarely work just for the money. They are usually people who enjoy being needed, who are proud to work with dignity and status, alongside of nurses, social workers, and doctors. More than any of these, the homemaker works close to the people she is helping, right in the midst of the families who are threatened by illness, accident, or the common stresses of life. Mrs. Lico feels lucky, for she knows her fires are a source of warmth and light to many people in her community. What is homemaker service? Well, it's not nursing, not cooking, not cleaning, not social work. It's homemaking.